I had no friends, no family, no relations, no addresses. I knew no one. I got off at the bus station of 50th Street.
Imagine a man who conquered Hollywood, shattered racial barriers, and stood toe-to-toe with the Klan, only to vanish without a whisper for 6 long years. Sidney Poitier, the first black Oscar winner, was at the peak of his reign in 1967, dazzling the world with blockbuster hits and a voice that echoed through the civil rights movement. Then, poof, he's gone, leaving friends, fans, and even the industry scrambling for answers. Was it a scandal too big to bury? A secret mission that risked it all? Or a soul-crushing burden no one saw coming? This isn't just a disappearance. It's a mystery wrapped in grit, glamour, and a fortune few could dream of. What drove a legend to ditch the spotlight when he owned it? Stick around, because the truth behind Poitier's vanishing act will flip everything you thought you knew upside down. Let's rewind to where it all began. Sidney Poitier entered the world on February 20th, 1927, in Miami, Florida. A premature baby so tiny, his dad, Reginald, feared he wouldn't make it. A tomato farmer from Cat Island in the Bahamas, Reginald had come to sell his crop with his wife, Evelyn, when Sidney arrived unexpectedly. They'd braced for loss, even buying a small casket. But this little fighter defied the odds. Back on Cat Island, life was raw and rugged. No electricity, no plumbing, just the rhythm of the land. Money was a stranger. Sidney wore flour sack clothes and rarely saw a classroom. By 12, he was working full-time, his childhood swallowed by survival. Then came Nassau, a jolt of city life when he was nearly 11. The bustle, the lights, the first time he caught his reflection in a window. It was a new world. Movies hooked him instantly, those flickering screens planting dreams in his young mind. But trouble loomed too. A friend's detour to reform school spooked his parents. At 15, they shipped him to Miami to join his brother, hoping for a better path. Instead, he crashed into the wall of Jim Crow. Racism wasn't subtle. Segregation locked him out of jobs and spaces, and danger stalked him. One night, 5 white cops trailed him for 35 blocks. No reason given, just the threat of what could happen. Miami wasn't safe. He had to bolt. New York City was next, at 16, with nothing but grit. No cash, no kin, no roof. He slept wherever he could. Rooftops, benches, bus stations. Winter chewed him up, and the law nabbed him more than once for simply existing without a home. Out of options, he bluffed his age to enlist in the Army. They stuck him in a veterans' hospital, tending to psychiatric patients amid conditions that rattled him. He couldn't stomach it, so he played a desperate card, faking a mental breakdown to get out. It worked. Back in New York, still scraping by, he latched onto a wild idea: acting. His first shot at the American Negro Theater was a flop. His Caribbean lilt and shaky reading skills drew laughs. Stung but stubborn, he vowed to change. Washing dishes by night, he found an ally in an elderly Jewish waiter who taught him to read, poring over newspapers after hours. Radio honed his voice, and months later, he returned. This time, they listened. Fast forward to 1950, and here's where it gets wild. No Way Out drops, and Poitier's a revelation. He's Dr. Luther Brooks, a black doctor tangled in a racist storm after a white patient dies. The film doesn't flinch, exposing prejudice in a way Hollywood usually dodged. Poitier's poise and power flipped the script. Black characters weren't just props anymore. Off-screen, he bonds with Richard Widmark, his on-screen foe, showing humanity could outshine hate. But here's the kicker. Why would a man who broke barriers like that vanish years later? Was the pressure too much, or was something else brewing? Poitier didn't stop there. He drew a line, no roles that dimmed his dignity. In an era where black actors got stuck as thugs or lackeys, he picked parts with purpose. Cry, the beloved country. In 1951, cast him as a priest battling South Africa's racial chasm, his depth tearing at your heart. Then, Blackboard Jungle in 1955, he's Gregory Miller, a sharp, defiant student in a chaotic school, stealing scenes and sparking change. His choices weren't just bold, they were a blueprint for stars like Denzel Washington decades later. But taking the high road came with a cost. Some called him choosy, even detached, for dodging grittier roles. He didn't care. He knew his work shaped perceptions. So what pushed him to step back when he'd built all that? Now, let's peel back another layer. His money moves. Poitier came from nothing, and that stuck with him. Fame didn't turn him flashy. No parade of luxury cars like a Rolls-Royce Phantom or glitzy Rolex watches here. He kept it low-key, likely stashing his earnings in smart spots. Maybe real estate, like a quiet estate in Beverly Hills, or safe investments. No private jets or public splurges, just a man who'd known hunger and wouldn't risk it again. His hustle went beyond acting, too. He dipped into directing and producing, spreading his bets. Think Stir Crazy in 1980. His touch turned it into gold. Insurance? You bet he had it. Health and career policies to shield his gains. A nod to his early struggles. Compare that to today's stars, drowning in excess. Poitier's past taught him discipline, a stark contrast to the chaos of modern Hollywood. So, where's the dramatic twist? From trailblazer to ghost, his 1967 exit still haunts us. Was it burnout from carrying a movement? A secret shift to directing? His impact never faded. His films still echo, his lessons still guide. Yet the man himself slipped away, leaving us hooked. What really drove Sidney Poitier into the shadows? Stick around. The truth's coming, and it's bigger than you think. Let's rewind to 1958. Poitier's chaining audiences to their seats, with the defiant ones, shackled to Tony Curtis as two escaped prisoners, one black, one white, forced to lean on each other. It's not just a jailbreak flick. It's a sledgehammer to racial walls, directed by Stanley Kramer, when segregation still ruled parts of America. Poitier's Noah Cullen is raw, sharp, human. Hollywood's never handed a black actor a lead this meaty before. He snags a Best Actor Oscar nod, the first for a black man, losing to David Niven, but winning the industry's eyes. That nomination? It's his ticket to bigger paychecks, kicking off a financial climb from dishwater wages to millions. Fast forward to today, his net worth sits at $25 million, fueled by smart moves and timeless films. Projections say it'll hold steady. His real estate and residuals are gold mines. But here's a hook to chew on. How does a guy who started with nothing build a real estate empire worth millions? By the late 60s, Poitier's pocketing serious cash and planting roots in Beverly Hills, a sprawling mansion bought for peanuts back then, now valued at over $10 million. He's got a New York City pad, too, a sleek tribute to his early hustle, pushing his property haul past $20 million. Luxury's his quiet flex. Picture him cruising in a Mercedes-Benz 600, all understated class, or glancing at a Patek Philippe ticking on his wrist. None of that blinged-out flash. No private jet screams his name, but his investments whisper wealth. Compare that to his early days, rooftops for beds, and it's a leap that'd dizzy anyone. Now, 1961 rolls in, and A Raisin in the Sun hits hard. Poitier's Walter Lee Younger, born from Lorraine Hansberry's pen, is a man clawing out of poverty, dreams fraying at the edges. First on Broadway, then film, he's frustration and fire, mirroring the real struggles of black families in Chicago's unspoken segregation. It's a classic now, locked in the National Film Registry since 2005. But back then, it's a paycheck boost and a Golden Globe nod, piling onto his growing stash. His business game levels up too, directing gigs like Buck and The Preacher, with Harry Belafonte rake in more, diversifying his dollars. Past hustle meets present savvy, and his fortune swells. Then, 1963 drops Lilies of the Field, and history cracks open. Poitier's Homer Smith, a wandering handyman building a chapel for nuns, is all heart and grit. No flash, just quiet good. That role lands him the Best Actor Oscar in '64, the first black man to clutch that gold. His speech is humble, but the wind's seismic. Salaries soar, doors swing wide. From there, his net worth's on a rocket ride, hitting tens of millions by the '70s. Today's $25 million, it's poised to climb as his properties appreciate and films keep streaming. But wait, did that Oscar crown come with a catch? The pressure's brewing, and it's about to bubble over. Cue 1967. And Poitier's everywhere, then nowhere. Guess who's coming to dinner has him as doctor? John Prentice, a black doc engaged to a white woman. Stirring family chaos right after interracial marriage goes legal nationwide. It's a love wins tale, but some grumble he's too polished, too safe. Then, in the heat of the night, he's Virgil Tibbs, a Philly cop tangled in a Southern murder case, slapping back at a racist slap. Directed by Norman Jewison, it's tense, electric, snagging Best Picture. Box office booms, proven race sells. But here's the jaw-dropper. Why'd he ghost after ruling 67? Critics like Clifford Mason, in that '67 New York Times piece, jab, he's too perfect, a white-friendly mirage. Pauline Kael echoes it. His roles lack mess, depth. The civil rights crowd shifts too, wanting rawer voices as the movement heats up. Poitier's a symbol, sure, but the weight's crushing. That disappearance? It's no meltdown, it's a power play. He pivots to directing, producing, steering his own ship. Stir Crazy in 1980, with Gene Wilder and Richard Pryor. Banks big, padding his fortune. His Lux life stays steady. Beverly Hills mansion, NYC retreat, that Mercedes purring in the garage. No jet, but he doesn't need one. His wealth's in bricks and reels. Past milestones, Oscar, nominations, morph into today's quiet empire. A far cry from the kid who couldn't read till a waiter showed him how. Critics faded, but his impact? Unshakable. So, what's the secret news behind that 6-year dip? Was it burnout, a civil rights sidestep, or a master plan to build on his terms? His journey's no straight line. Poverty to penthouses, barriers to breakthroughs. He's not just a star, he's a lesson in grit and grace. And just when you think you've got him figured, there's one last curve. What kept him grounded when fame could have swallowed him whole? Stick around. That answer's coming, and it'll hit you square. Let's jump to 1963, the March on Washington. Over 250,000 souls swarm the Lincoln Memorial, and there's Poitier, shoulder to shoulder with Harry Belafonte and Charlton Heston, soaking in Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s "I Have a Dream" speech. He's not just a celebrity cameo, he's in the fight, a Hollywood heavyweight who could have coasted on fame but chose the front lines. Fast forward to '64, and he's risking it all with Belafonte again. Freedom summers heating up in Mississippi, where registering black voters is a life-or-death gamble. 3 activists vanish that June, fears thick in the air, and the movement's strapped for cash. Poitier and Belafonte step up, hauling $70,000, over $500,000 today, in a shaky Cessna to Greenwood. The pilot ditches them on touchdown, and a car's waiting until headlights flare. It's not help, it's the Klan, ramming their ride in a heart-stopping chase. They swerve, they speed, and just when it's dire, SNCC's convoy roars in, scattering the threat. They deliver the cash to a packed dance hall, greeted like heroes. That night, under armed guard, they know the danger's not gone, but they've fueled a revolution. Here's a hook that'll grab you. How does a star who faced down the Klan keep his cool and his fortune intact? Poitier's no spendthrift, his wealth's a fortress. By the 70s, his net worth's climbing past $15 million, dwarfing his flour sack days. That Beverly Hills mansion? It's a gem, joined by a Bahamas retreat echoing his Cat Island roots. Together, his real estate's pushing $25 million now. He's rolling in a Cadillac Eldorado, subtle but plush, and a Rolex day-date keeps time. No ostentation, just class. His directing debut, Buck and the Preacher in '72, doubles as a money move, co-starring Belafonte in a Western that flips the script. Black pioneers fleeing post-Civil War chaos. It's a hit, not a jackpot, but it's legacy gold. Compare that to his 50s hustle, dishwashing to survive, and his presence a masterclass in building smart. Now, 1972's a game-changer. Buck and the Preacher isn't just a gig, it's Poitier taking the helm after axing the original director, Joseph Sargent, for missing the story's soul. He's never called shots before, but he dives in, wrapping it in 45 days while juggling the organization. It's gritty, real, black resilience against white raiders, with Native American alliances twisting the tale. Benny Carter's bluesy score seals its depth. Critics cheer, and though Columbia wanted bigger bucks, its cultural punch lasts. Poitier's past, fighting stereotypes, meets his present, steering narratives he believes in. But here's the kicker. Did that leap to directing spark his Hollywood exit? The grind's relentless, and he's carrying more than scripts. Fast forward to '74, and Poitier's flipping gears. Enter Uptown Saturday Night, a comedy caper with Bill Cosby. They're blue-collar pals chasing a stolen lottery ticket through a hilarious underworld, joined by legends like Richard Pryor and Flip Wilson. It's a smash, dodging the era's gritty crime flicks for pure fun. His directing keeps it snappy, proving he's not just drama's king, he's got laughs in his pocket. Then, Stir Crazy in 1980 rockets him higher, pairing Gene Wilder and Richard Pryor in a jailbreak romp that banks $100 million. Monster numbers back then. His net worth's soaring past $20 million. And today's $25 million feels rock solid, with residuals and real estate promising more. Past triumphs, Oscar wins, barrier breaking, morph into a present where he's calling shots, not just taking them. But wait, what's the dramatic twist that sent him packing? Critics like Clifford Mason had stung in '67, calling him a polished prop for white comfort. And by the late '60s, the civil rights crowd's shifting. Some want messier, realer black stories. Poitier's hurt, slamming Mason's New York Times takedown as brutal and off-base. His home's a hub. Juanita hosts Ruby D, Malcolm X, plotting change. Let's kick it off with 1980. Stir Crazy explodes. Poitier directing Gene Wilder and Richard Pryor as two pals framed for a bank heist, landing 125 years behind bars. Their chemistry's pure lightning, and the laughs hit hard. 100 million hard. It's the first flick helmed by a black director to crack that mark, shattering Columbia Pictures' opening week records with $13 million. From his 50s days dodging cops for being homeless to this, it's a leap that screams triumph. His net worth's ballooning. $20 million then, $25 million now, with future streams from classics like that projecting steady growth. But here's the hook that'll reel you in. Did that blockbuster high push him to rethink everything? Poitier's no stranger to drama off-screen either. He weds Juanita Hardy in 1950, raising 4 daughters over 2 decades. Solid, steady. Then, Diane Carroll crashes in during 59's Porgy and Bess. Sparks fly, undeniable, even with both married. Her to Monte Kay, him to Juanita. 9 years of passion twist their lives. Carroll divorces. Poitier confesses, but stays for his kids. He buys her a ring, a 10-room apartment, plans a life, but stalls, wanting a trial run. She bolts, and it stings. They heal as friends, but that roller coaster mirrors his public tightrope, balancing image and instinct. By 76, he's with Joanna Shimkus, a new chapter. Past chaos meets present peace, and his wealth's still climbing. Smart, not splashy. Speaking of wealth, let's peel back his luxe layers. That Beverly Hills mansion's a cornerstone, snagged decades ago, now worth $15 million. Add the Bahamas retreat, $5 million, a nod to his roots, and a New York pied-à-terre. His real estate empire's $25 million strong. Cars? A Jaguar XJ purrs in his garage, sleek but subtle, paired with a Cartier tank watch. Quiet elegance. No private jet, but he doesn't need one. His investments hum, think stir-crazy profits. Stakes in films like A Piece of the Action with Bill Cosby. Insurance? He's covered. Health, assets, career, safeguarding a fortune born from dishwashing days. Lesson 1. Build slow, hold tight. His $25 million today could nudge $30 million soon, thanks to residuals and property gains. Compare that to his broke teens. Mind-blowing. Here's a twist to chew on. Why'd a guy this grounded ditch Hollywood's glare? Flashback to 64. His Lilies of the Field Oscar. A first for a black man. He's a pioneer, but the Academy's diversity drought gnaws at him. By the 70s, he's fed up. Black talents still sidelined. He quits the Academy, a loud exit echoed by Bernie Casey, slamming exclusion. It's no fix, but it's fuel for change, a legacy move. Then 97 hits. He's Bahamas ambassador to Japan, dual citizenship in play, linking his parents' homeland to the world till 2007. From 50s barrier buster to diplomat, he's reshaping his stage. Less spotlight, more purpose. But the big hook drops in 2002. At the Kodak Theater, Denzel Washington hands Poitier an honorary Oscar, saluting a giant who made films happen, not just fill them. Poitier's grace shines. He thanks the risk-takers who bet on him, a kid who hit Hollywood at 22 with no shot. That night, Washington grabs Best Actor for Training Day, the second black winner after Poitier's 64 coup. "I'll always be chasing you, Sidney," he says, a torch passed. Their first meet? A quick backstage "You're good" from Poitier, igniting Washington's fire. Past king crowns, present champ, and the crowd's electric. So, what's the secret behind that 6-year vanish? January 6, 2022. Poitier's gone at 94, and the world mourns. Oprah calls him hope. Obama a trailblazer. Morgan Freeman a guide. His films, Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, In the Heat of the Night, still challenge, still teach. His memoir, The Measure of a Man, spikes again. revealing a thinker who carried a generation's dreams. The 22 Doc Sidney spills more. His voice, his why. Was it the grind of being a symbol? A shift to diplomacy, directing, family? From Cat Island to $25 million, he never chased flash, just impact. His 67 exit wasn't a fall, it was a recalibration. Writing books, steering culture, living real. Here's the final hook. What kept him steady when fame could have broken him? 2 autobiographies, This Life, 1980, bears his climb, his missteps with Carol. The Measure of a Man, 2000, digs into his soul, preaching integrity. His Lux Life's Earned, Jaguar humming, Bahamas breeze blowing, wealth secured by choices, not chance. Financial tip? Diversify, films, properties, purpose. His journey's a map, struggle to strength, past to present, a legacy that hums in every frame. He didn't just disappear, he redefined the game. And that ending? It's not over. It's a dare to dig deeper.